My story as a youth transition. Youth and unemployment. I saw with my own eyes when I missed an opportunity. I received my higher education at Hawassa University Institute of Technology. I graduated with great distinction. That was the time I faced real-life ups and downs. Unemployment, instability, financial problems, and other things lifts me up to unusual stress. First, I had dreamed that my university chance for great distinction graduate students to remain a teacher. But this dream had changed into a nightmare. Whether bad luck or coincidental, I had an unexpected turn of events. The head of our department told me about the university's decision that they have no place for men but for female students in the year I graduated. This case made me hopeless. But I decided to brace myself. And I said, it's gone. I still have another fortuitous on the future unless I die, so I have to stop worrying about the past. After 3 months of following job advertisements, I felt there was no hope since it was not there. So, I decided to leave Hawassa and try my luck in another city. The city was Addis Ababa. When I made this decision, everyone in my family opposed me except my mother, but my father's was exceptional. Even if my father's disagreement was a big despite obstacles, I refused to stay and went to Addis Ababa with the supplies I need. Life in Addis Ababa. Money kept running like a summer rain until I could no longer move. I began my life in a house I rented for 3,000 fares around Summit. When I left home, I had only one hope to support myself and my family with a better job. But it did not happen. Unfortunately, I could not be for my family or myself. The biggest obstacle in my new life was money for rent and transportation. Those had further emphasized by the distance between my home and my place of work. I could not afford a house near to my workplace. Even then, if the issue of housing is serious or unthinkable for the employed, you can guess what would happen for the unemployed. But I refused to give up and stay looking for a job. In Addis Ababa, finding a job was not the stiffest task, but a well-paying job is. This means I found 4 or 5 jobs in my search, but they were paid 2,500 or 1,000 fares for a full-time job. Obviously, this cash can't cover any of my expenses. For all, I continued my search without despair. After 2 months I felt like I have to decide something. I decided to do was get a job before I finished the money on my hand. I later got a job with a salary of 2,000 fares in One It Solution plc. My home and workplace are far away, so I left at noon. But I arrive at the workplace around 3 o'clock. I have to get up early to get out at this hour. Making lunch and breakfasts and housekeeping becomes my everyday first tasks. But this experience did not last more than 15 days. Because the area where I work was very hard. In addition to the transportation cost you have to pay even for water, I could not bear this kind of expense 15 days after. So, I'm forced to quit my job. A few weeks later, I find an online job in a printing house. I'm glad that this kind of work does not require transportation money. I agreed on a percentage payment and started working. After working on 3 different designs, they stopped picking up my phone without even paying me. I expected them to call tomorrow, but they remained silent. I thought all these problems were directed at me. I said to myself angrily, this is a perverse opportunity that has befallen me. I could not even see a glimmer of hope, but I waited for 2 months, hoping only in God. I spent most of my time at home reading various books and making YouTube tutorial videos. One morning I got up as usual and started cleaning. My phone was ringing and I picked it up because it was an office phone I did not know. Someone greeted me warmly and reminded me that I had applied for a job, and told me that if I could come to the office, we could talk about the job. I told him I could come too, and he hung up. I thanked God and began my journey to the office where I was called. A lot of things were going on inside of me. And that was, is this the end of that troubled life? But no matter what kind of work it is, it should not be the same as before. No, not at all. I arrived at the office, thanking God for giving me this. When I entered the office, I told the secretary what had happened, and she asked for my name. When I told her my name, she immediately recognized me. After exchanging greetings, she told me to go to the principal's office. The officer got up from the chair, greeted me warmly, and motioned for me to sit down. He saw my application and told me he was impressed with my results, and explained to me the profession I had chosen, where I work and the benefits I receive, and everything, including my salary. He told me that my employment situation was temporary and that I could continue to enjoy the benefits of the job. Most of all, he asked me to volunteer for the job, as the workplace was constantly changing and I was moving around regional cities in Ethiopia. After hearing all this, I told him I was willing. Think about it. For a man who has been wandering around for months without a job, it seems like the manna came down from heaven, but it doesn't seem to pay off. The man told me that my ability to work was constantly increasing and that there was a good chance that I would become a full-time employee, which would depend on my ability to work. We ended our conversation by reminding me to go to Shushmeni and start working 2 days later. After I signed an employment contract in the office, I thanked him. When I returned home, I was shocked to think of the days when I complained to God that I had been misled. I am not a pervert. There are still many opportunities for me. So far, I had been frustrated by everything I faced. Instead of figuring out what to do with my life, I simply let them go. After putting it all down, I realized the positive effects of waiting patiently for God, especially the negative effects of resentment and despair. Today, I have worked in 17 cities, including Shushmeni, and in some cases, I have made more progress than expected. But I still have not stopped looking for a permanent job because I believe that youth is a force to be reckoned with. There is no twisted opportunity but twisted thinking. There is a time for everything. We are expected to trust God and try and take advantage of every opportunity in our lives.